Broncos news. Good evening, Broncos country, and welcome to the next annual show of Fan Appreciation Night. If you are tuning in, this is the show that you are going to want to be at, guys. We have a ton of giveaways that we are going to be doing tonight. For all this Broncos gear we're giving away to you guys as a way to say thank you for all of your continued support throughout all of the years. Make sure you hit that share button, hit that like button. Let's get as many people in here as we possibly can. Have some fun tonight. Just having fun as Broncos country. So before we get into the prizes and everything else, also want to let you know that ESPN's 𝗕𝗿𝗲 will be joining us later tonight at about 7:20 p.m. So we're going to get to talk to Jeff and see what he has to say about the Broncos and everything that they've done this year and everything he's seeing from his side of the table. Next up, guys, we can finally officially announce we are going to be sponsored by Breckenridge Distillery 5280 Broncos blend, guys. It is official. I know we've been talking about them for a long time because this stuff is freaking good. Okay, it's delicious. The blue bottle, the orange bottle. If you don't like the whiskey, they also got the Broncos Blizzard vodka as well. So make sure you run out and grab yourself some of that. But the last announcement here for all of you guys before we dive into some of the comments and questions and just everything going on. We got our 10-year logo, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 10th year of Bourbon, Broncos, and no BS. So we're here we've been here for a while. We're going to be here for a long time coming, and it's going to be a great time. So this is a very special fan appreciation episode as we kick off the start of our next whole long year and see what the Broncos do coming up next as well. So stick around as we, get ready for all the prizes and everything like that. But I got Jared, David, Spotty, and John here with me tonight. And let's just go around the room. Jared, how you doing, man?
I'm happy to be here, man. I'm excited for this episode. It took us 9 years of doing Orange Weekly and Bourbon Broncos No BS to make the playoffs. But just like any other year, we're giving away some great Broncos prizes today, and I'm pretty excited to share the love with the fans that have been sticking with us for coming on 10 years now.
Yeah, it's freaking fantastic. Clayton's one of them right here. Clayton's been around for a long time. So Clayton, thank you very much for tuning in. We got Tracy in here, Gary, a bunch of other people as well. David, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, Kev. I love the fan appreciation show. Obviously, we all do, but it's, all those names you just said are people I just recognize as being here for so long. Like Sean, another longtime fan, Anthony. You guys are the reason that we do this. We can sit around and talk football with each other and scream into a void forever. But to have you guys actually being on the other side and listening makes it all worthwhile. So we appreciate you so much, and thanks for being here.
Heck yeah. John, how you feeling, buddy?
Well, I mean, I'm sober, so we'll see how that what trend
Drink
that
up,
goes
buddy.
in
Drink
the
up.
next hours. I don't know. I know Spotty's a little suspicious there, but I'm excited. Jared, David, Spotty, I haven't seen you guys in forever. I don't even know anything about you guys anymore. Like, does David still do these shows high? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
It's a mystery to everybody, Sean. It really is. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought Jared was still deployed. I thought he was on a ship in the middle of the ocean. No, it's great to see you guys. I will say the Broncos have yet to miss the playoffs since my son has been born, so that's exciting news, and I hope that's
huge
news. But no, in all seriousness, super excited to be with you guys tonight. Taking care of the fans, giving out some prizes. Super looking forward to it.
Fantastic, man. Spotty, what's up, buddy?
Who's the new guy? Jay On. It's a weird nickname there, buddy.
You know more about me than anybody else on this show.
Oh man,
A little too well.
Yeah.
Way too well. Too well.
Yeah, we don't have enough time for that. No, super excited to be on here. Second fan appreciation for Spotty. I came in like Sean Payton's first year, probably wasn't as great for me, but definitely feel like I picked it up the second year. There might be some post-draft grades for you guys later on about Spotty, but definitely happy to be part of the team.
Is that
That's
new?
awesome.
Does Spidey always refer to himself in third person?
That is new for this year. Yeah, you missed that. And that's true. Your pre-draft grade wasn't great, but I think you're trending upward, so you have that going for you.
Well, now
that's all that matters, man. Redraft. Spotty's coming first.
I would say so.
I can't get on board with this.
I can't get on board.
All right, let's.
I want to give
Spotty would be the number 1 pick this year. Last year's class was strong. This year, there's no question.
for sure.
I'll give it to him.
Hey, really quickly, Sean, since you've been around for so long and you're always bringing up the 𝗕𝗿𝗵𝗁 comments, I did want to let you know we tried for you.
I did
to get him. We tried to get him on tonight as a surprise guest for you. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get a hold of him in time, but that is the length we're willing to go to try and appease some of you guys. Show our support.
I have a message to 𝗕𝗿𝗵𝗁. I promise you, we tried.
That's a long message, bro. You should at least show some leg in your profile picture.
Well, it's the abs that get him, not the legs. I'm more of an ab guy.
The abs?
Oh, okay. Abs? Yeah, show off the assets, okay?
Hey, Spidey, to be fair, he's got to be careful. He's in the Navy, all right? He doesn't want to show too much skin.
Or, never mind. We'll let that
one go. Okay. Well, guys, I think it's about time.
Nothing on that one? Come on. You're supposed to back me up.
I'm multitasking. You guys are conversing and I'm going through
laser
focused.
Here.
I'm focused. Also want to give a shout out to Cindy, Cindy is one of our OG fans. She's been following us pretty much since the beginning. So Cindy, thank you very much for all your continued support. And that seriously goes for everybody in the comments already. But again, guys, I'm loving love the show, man. Love you guys as fans. That's why we keep doing this. And that's why we do shows like this for Fan Appreciation Night. There is going to be a grand prize at the very end of the show. So you guys are going to want to stick around through all of it. But with that being said, we got Leggy coming up in 10 minutes. Jeff Legwold from ESPN. So let's pull this up and let's move on into our first prize of the night. Mr. John, sir, you are up.
That's okay. There we go.
Did you make hold on, time out. Did you make a PowerPoint for this year?
Yeah.
Look at us moving up in the world.
Jared.
Whoa, Jared, don't say us. It's always KevDan.
Well, I mean, Spotty, you've been around long enough to know that I just take credit for everything Kev does. So good job. We did it.
All right. Moving on from Jared's comments. First prize goes to me because the whiskey hasn't set in yet, and they wanted to do it while I was sober. So I will be giving away this beautiful Broncos old school flag, and I'm going to keep it short. This question is in honor of Pat Surtain, who is on the precipice of being named the Defensive Player of the Year, which I'm only saying that as much as possible for my gambling account. And if I say it more, then it will come into existence. That's what, that's what my therapist tells me. That's what, you just got to breathe it into existence. Okay. Sorry. My question is, it's been almost 10 years since the last time the Broncos won the Super Bowl. And we had a dominant defense then, just like Pat Surtain is trying to grow this dominant defense now. And I can think off the top of my head, which is sad as a Broncos fan, who the 5 players, and I want to be key here, 5 players that were part of the no-fly zone defense. So we're looking for 5 players part of the no-fly zone defense.
And remember, guys, we're going to have to go off of whoever we see answer correctly first in our comments as they flow in. So, yeah.
Went with the multiple answers there, John. Wow, that's
look, you can Google this. Come on.
I know 2. Right, I know 3.
I've got it.
Yeah. A couple of them are throwbacks that I was like, oh, right, we had that guy.
Well, and we just celebrated them in a game this year as well. They came down and they did a celebration thing. And it's funny, when I saw that, I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot that he was part of that.
Yeah. So looking for the 5 players, part of the no-fly zone defense. I think we have our first winner, Clayton.
𝗕𝗿, Harris, Ward, Stewart, and Roby. Is that right?
I mean, 𝗕𝗿cie. I don't know who 𝗕𝗿cie is, but
I'm going to give him that. I'm pretty sure he was typing quickly and meant 𝗕𝗿. I would give that to him.
I'll give it to Clayton there. Nice work. Yeah, Darian Stewart. I was like, oh man, I forgot about that guy. And then Bradley Roby. Chris Harris.
Bradley Roby was the one that got me.
Yeah.
Chris Harris in the slot, man. That was the best time to watch that second.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, congrats.
Roby got paid off of that team. Don't you remember? Roby got paid.
He did.
Roby got paid off that. Yeah.
Where did he go? He went to Houston. Was that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He went the way of Brock Osweiler, like literally.
Yeah.
Well, if talking about another era person from that team, man, who definitely got paid. That he got paid like ridiculous because he didn't do ish for the rest of his career.
You know, it's funny. I saw it didn't do anything for the rest of his career, but I saw a post today that said Brock Osweiler was more instrumental in that Super Bowl run or win that year than Peyton Manning was.
I think statistically you can make that argument. Leadership, leaving that out a little bit.
We forget that Peyton got hurt that year. So
and so he won what eight games through the year. Like so, I mean he did lead our team to wins, but was it him or was it the defense? Like, could we have done it with somebody else? Probably, right?
Let's put it this way: I do not believe we would have won the Super Bowl without Brock Osweiler.
Right. I mean, that could be said now, but if anybody was our backup, we could have been like, we would not have won the Super Bowl without said backup. Trevor Siemian was what, 3rd string that year?
Oh, I don't remember. Yeah.
All right. I'm not going down this rabbit hole with you.
So really quickly, guys, let's see. I just saw Jacob in the comments. Look, plenty of other gifts that were coming your way, other prizes and everything. So look, I can't stop you from Googling the answers. I could say on the honor system, but I can't tell what you're doing. We have to go off of whoever answers first, man. So hopefully you can type quickly. But
game the system, Jacob. Game the system.
Right?
Yeah, but if you win too much,
we're going to try to split up the prizes. So also, here's what we're going to do, guys. So Clayton, the first one's for you here, man. Make sure you message me. Tell me what prize you won. I mean, I got it written down here as well, but message us on our Facebook page. Let us know what prize you won, and that way I can communicate with you to get your address and all that stuff. So go ahead and send us a message if you win a prize, and we'll get that squared away with you over there. Jacob, right here, man. I love it, dude. I love the attitude. You might, if there was another prize just for best attitude, you would win that right there, man.
That's a new attitude.
We got plenty of prize to give away. So
yeah,
we gonna do another one before Leggy comes up.
We could.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's up next, David?
I don't have anything else to give away. So this is up to you.
David's next, and that's why I want to get it out of the way now because I could just walk out for now and then I'll come back.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. It's all right, Jared. Just because Team Puffball is about to grow by another member. It's all right.
Whoa.
Surprise, surprise. David's giving away a unisex Puffball cap.
Unisex.
Oh, Josh Allen's going to be a member?
Well, no. And see, it's a Josh Allen specific prize, and here's why. Because of Kevin's wonderful video before the wild card round against the Bills drew quite a bit of pushback from Bills fans.
A lot of backlash.
A lot of pushback. And so we thought there was it's strange to hear, right? We thought it might be appropriate to let one of our fans have a hat that would show, any Bills fans who want to throw some recent history in our faces that we have 3 Super Bowl championships and they have none. So that's why I thought this particular puffball hat would be appropriate for the winner, the lucky winner tonight. And so my question, guys, is, we were talking about Orange Weekly history and how we started. This is our 10th season going into it. So way back before our first season, guys, the Broncos had just come off a Super Bowl win, but they had a question mark at the quarterback position, right? Peyton Manning out the door, Brock Osweiler gone. You thought maybe he was going to stay, but he didn't. Who were the 3 quarterbacks in competition to start for the Denver Broncos that offseason? I need all 3 names.
Ooh. That's a good one.
3?
I remember one of them specifically, and he got cut really quickly after.
Yeah.
Jake the Snake Plumber.
Okay.
Well, you're a little off there,
No.
John. Drink some more whiskey.
Not
dude.
quite.
Drink some more whiskey.
Yeah, that'll help.
Tell me twice.
Yeah. I can hear the
Breckenridge
furious
Distillery, guys. Make
Googling
sure.
going on out
that out.
there.
Oh yeah, I can hear the
Absolutely.
gears turning as they're typing away.
Yeah.
No, Paul Tebow was not one of them.
Paul,
Remember, Tebow left.
no, he
when,
was not.
Peyton Manning came back.
Yeah.
Or
Peyton
came
Manning-
to.
That's
the-
right.
Peyton Manning corrected the Tebow mistake.
Yeah, thank God.
Did Tebow back him up that first season or no? I can't remember.
No,
I
they were
don't
never
know.
on
You got
that.
rid of
That
him.
was never going to be a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the way, I just want to clear the air really quickly. You were bringing up the Bills stuff. I never said the Broncos are definitely going to win. All I said was you guys are acting cocky. Just remember that the Broncos beat you guys with Russell Wilson.
Let it go. Let it go, Kev.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
then don't read the
I'm
comments.
trying to
Kev.
fill the
gotta
air.
let it go.
I'm
Except
trying to
on
fill
the
the
show,
air.
obviously. But
Gotta let it go.
Do we have a winner? David, do we have a winner?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Nope.
Oh,
No, because remember we've already, for the record, we've already talked about Brock Osweiler way too much on the show. But I do want to bring up
That's right.
that he got paid after that year and he left, didn't he?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Sean is the closest so far, but Osweiler
far,
was
but
not a
it's
part
not.
of that competition.
oh god, Paxton Lynch.
No,
Yep.
he took a big payday to go to Houston instead of sticking with
Houston.
us because he would have had the starting job if probably if he would have stayed with us.
I assume, yeah, but no, they gave him the bag to go to Houston. we another guest here with two out of three, and not a bad guess either here. But we are still missing one name, guys. I didn't think it was going to be this hard to remember. I guess it's been a minute, huh?
I just
Yeah,
think
bro.
your football, David. Take a hint.
Well, when you
Fair
go
enough.
through 20 quarterbacks over 10 years, it's kind of hard to remember.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I think that.
I think
Well,
Clayton's
Clayton already
trying to
won
get
the last
hints.
one. He can't win again.
Clayton, you can't win again, man.
I think Clayton's trying to get
At
hints.
least not till the grand prize.
He's trying to get all the prizes.
Hey, A for effort. You're going to be entered for the grand prize at the end, man. But no other before that.
All right, I'm going to make this a little bit easier. It is two names that we've got. Simeon and Lynch are the two names that we've got already. I need the third person, but I need you to tell me all three still, even though I just gave you two.
Oh, I think I know who it is, and I can't. I think I got it.
All right.
Is
well,
it,
we can also give people.
David, is it the son of
ahead.
a famous coach,
Not Bridgewater.
Oh,
or actually
I
no,
think it was that
nephew of a
quickly.
famous coach?
wait, is the name also a very hot place? His last name?
Ooh. Sean? Sean get
It might be, but Sean just got it.
Oh,
Yeah, Sean's got it.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
I remember that.
Yep. And
Up
Sean
fumble,
already
baby.
guessed Simeon and Lynch. So, yep. That was we traded for for Mark Sanchez.
Did we really? What the?
But
what did we
I
trade
think
for Mark Sanchez?
yeah, we'll yeah, but not much.
Tell the
But,
story, David.
I think we can pivot successfully. No, I think we're gonna
Yes.
we're gonna tell it after because I think we've got a guest to pivot to, guys.
We got a special
You're just
guest.
really
Before-
excited about this next guest.
Before
Aren't
I
we
bring him
all?
up again, Sean, message our Facebook page so that I can get your address and everything for that hat. Yeah, but Sean did got it. Paul, you were just about 10 seconds too late, man. But we got more prizes coming up after this. But it is my honor, as always, to introduce the man, the myth, and the legend, Mr. Jeff Legwold from ESPN. Buddy, how's it going, dude?
Let's go.
How we doing, fellas?
yeah.
Living the dream now.
Yeah,
How's the weather in Mobile?
not bad. I've been down here some years when it's been hideous. So today was pretty easy.
Yeah.
Pretty nice day.
No snow.
Nice.
No, they would be paralyzed if there was the snow was still here.
Yeah, true. Well, before we get the other guys to ask some questions, I just kind of want to start with.
It's funny
yeah.
because 𝗕𝗿nci𝗂𝗵𝗁, the longtime columnist in Atlanta, wrote a column one time after it had snowed, I think during the SEC basketball tournament, and he joked that they couldn't clear the snow because it was Kentucky's turn to use the plow. So there's your Southern snow story.
Love it. Well, hey, first question, and everybody that's watching, post your questions for Jeff here. The first one I want to ask you, man, was, just looking back over this season, how good was it to cover a winning Broncos season, man?
Playoff winning.
I think people ask me that a lot. Is it different when they're really good, and is it different when they're really bad? And I think in general, football players and coaches compartmentalize so hard during the year. Each week is its own little world. So a lot of times they sort of don't get caught up in the swirl. Now, late in the year of a really bad season, then guys kind of get worn down and are looking toward the end of just make it get over. But usually teams are very compartmentalized, all the way to Christmas almost, no matter how it's going. So you don't really get that vibe of, hey, it's different, or they're back in the postseason hunt. I don't think that really sort of hit the locker room until December, and I think you saw some of the pressure they felt in some of those late season games. So that's the difference, is when you start sort of gauging the mood of the locker room, of the coaching staff. Do they look like they're doing anything different? Are they feeling it? And I think you could see in some of those December games, they did feel it a little bit, but it was a young team, and they didn't know what they didn't know. So I think my one takeaway is I think there's an immense amount of relief in the building that they've ended the drought. But I think they also understand a lot of the wins were built on teams less fortunate than they are. And I think that's the issue moving forward for them. Is it's great to make the playoffs, but to really make the playoffs over and over again, you've got to beat the Baltimores. You've got to beat Kansas City. You got to beat the heavyweights at some point. You don't have to beat them all, because nobody does, but you got to beat some of them. And I think that's where they're at right now.
Yeah. Question. I'm kind of grouping the questions together that I'm seeing here. I'm seeing, like, who are we going to draft? Do you think we'll get a running back or tight end? Who stood out to us in the Senior Bowl? But basically the big question is, go for it, Jared.
Let me rephrase the question a little bit. So I know that obviously our team, the team keeps obviously our draft board close to the chest, because obviously every general manager is going to keep close to the chest. Is there anybody that, especially at the Senior Bowl, that's standing out to you, knowing what our needs are, that might fall to where we're at 20, right? If I'm not,
20.
Yeah. So is there anybody that's standing out to you that might fall to that 20 area, knowing our needs, that's kind of standing out to you?
I would think, 20 is in that weird zone, because, the dirty little secret of the draft is, in the personnel world in the NFL, there are never, ever 32 first-round grades on players. Right. So when you get down, this will be my 39th draft that I've been around or covered, and the fewest first-round grades I've ever heard from a team in a year was 14 one year, and the most has been like 24. So that's kind of the range you're working in. So when you pick at 20, you're probably only going to have 2 or 3 players on your board left with first round grades. And that's where the Broncos will be. It'll be, do we like the person enough to take them there? And, do we want the 5th year option on this player? Those are big decisions when you're at 20 or below. And I think they will have a player on their board they want badly enough there. I think they'd like an offensive playmaker, a tight end. Do they value running back to take in the first round? I think that would be it would have to be a running back they have rated very highly to do that. And there may only be one first round back in this draft, and that could be 𝗕𝗿𝗄. So it really would come down to, do you feel strongly enough about 𝗕𝗿𝗄? When you think about it, the Saints didn't take Kamara in the first round. I mean, we he's had a tremendous career, and he was one of Peyton's Joker players. So, I just think it's one of those things where they'd have to see value. But I'll be shocked if they don't come out of the first 3 rounds of the draft with a tight end and a running back somewhere. And down here, that Warren isn't at the Senior Bowl. The Bowling Green tight end is here, and he had a pretty good day. Down the board, the Miami tight end had a pretty good day today, and a lot of people are sort of chatting him up. So, but it was just the first day of real practice here. Tomorrow guys will be a little more relaxed, and we'll be able to see a little more from them in the one-on-ones.
I keep hearing the defensive line prospects are a little bit deeper in this draft.
It's the deepest position group this year. They're loaded.
Yeah. Is that a position? Is that a position that Broncos might go after early as well if the playmaker doesn't fall the way they like in round 1?
That's a good point, because in his years in New Orleans, I was just charting this the other day, and Peyton took a defensive tackle twice. He took a defensive end or edge player 3 times. So in 5 drafts, he took a defensive lineman with the first pick. So definitely, and it's a hugely deep. Now, the other issue, when you have a deep position, sometimes guys think I can wait and get the same graded player a little later. But if they see a defensive lineman they like in the first round and he's up on the board, they would take him. Yes. Because DJ Jones is a free agent.
Right.
He'll probably be able to do better elsewhere in terms of money. It's just where they come down at this point.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought up that.
Oh, God. All 4 of us chimed in there. That was great. Go ahead, Spotty.
Spotty, over here.
I'm not writing this thing.
We have a couple of pretty key free agents kind of going into this offseason. With some guys like DJ and Javonte that are going to have some decisions. What do you foresee us doing with some of those guys? Do you see us signing a couple of them to bring them back on, or just kind of keep going with the younger, team to improve upon?
Well, I think the issue for the Broncos are, especially for DJ. DJ is healthy and had a good year, and this free agent class is filled with players coming off injury. So if you are a healthy player coming into the market, you're going to do a little better than some of those other guys. So I think that's the big issue for keeping him is it's a long list of injured players who are going to be into the market this year. So a healthy player like DJ is going to get a lot more demand, as it were. So, Javonte, I think, it's always, at this point for guys like that, is it the right price for the Broncos? Yes, they would bring, anybody back for their price. If you want your price, you may have to go elsewhere.
Ouch.
Well,
I'm a big Javonte fan, and obviously,
you just broke Jared's heart.
Around it is that he's going to
go. Broke Jared's heart.
They left the season. They finished the season very sort of aggravated with the run game. Top to bottom in the organization. So whether that's a coaching thing, a play calling thing, a player thing, maybe all of the above, really, when you break it all down. But that's going to get an overhaul in some way. How that looks when it's all said and done, we don't know. But we just saw sort of the weirdness of it all. 𝗕𝗿𝗵𝘁 is an inactive, game day inactive in the playoff game, and the guy they brought up on the roster to replace him, Bidet, gets 2 carries in the game. So it's just it's just there's sort of a disconnect there of what they want, what they got. Who fits what. And I think they will spend a lot of time, because he was just as aggravated 2 days after the season ended when we talked to him as he was when the season ended. So it's going to get a lot of attention.
Yeah.
All right. I've got
John, I think it's your question. You got one?
We all have questions. I'm just trying to let you guys take
No.
No, John, you're next.
One thing we've seen a lot, Jeff, some speculation when it comes to the draft. And sorry to take a step back there since we kind of moved on, but I am curious of your take on this. So we have the 20th pick. A lot of people are saying we're going to move up, we're going to move back. I certainly have a certain feeling about this, but what are you feeling or seeing from what you know within the organization as far as trading up or down?
Well, it's a thin board overall compared to last year. So again, it's going to be how many they've got graded in the first round and who's still up on the board when they're, when you hit the 13th pick and the 14th pick. They don't have the kind of fuel without giving up a lot of picks to trade way up. Yeah. If you're going to do that, you better be getting a guy you think is, a long time starter. And I know, as sort of consumers of football, we love the action of them moving up and moving back and all. But the best drafting teams kind of stay put and wait for everybody else to go crazy. I mean, the Ravens have built a perennial playoff team by simply waiting with their pick. And, the one time they did trade in recent years, they re-entered the first round to get Lamar at 32, and the Steelers just wait most of the time, for the pick. That, the Chiefs stay down at the bottom of the round. And, so it's just a lot of it is, there is an element of patience there. So I think they would, it'd be best for them there will be a player graded above 20 on their board available when they pick. And, and it may end up being a defensive player. You look at last year's draft, you're 13 picks in before the first defensive player's off the board.
It's crazy.
So if you're picking at 20, you might get the third ranked defensive player on the board in that scenario. So, I mean, it's just, you got to see how it falls in front of you.
Sure.
I think I could play a position for a play.
Go for it, David. I think you're a little too short, Kevin.
I would pay money to see this happen. Kevin.
I said for one play.
Stocky
I could survive one play.
Yeah, I'd pay to watch that one play.
At nose tackle, just run up the middle. I don't care who the running back is. They're getting 50 yards.
I would pay so much.
David,
money.
over to you for the next question.
All right. I'm pivoting away from the draft a little bit to talk about a young player, Drew Sanders, who was drafted at inside linebacker. And I feel like last year in the offseason, it was a real concerted effort to move him to edge. I think they really thought something of him there. But then they drafted Jonah Ellis. They got 𝗕𝗿𝗲𝗵𝘁 come off the bench as an undrafted free agent and came on really strong. It feels like that position with Bonitto and Cooper is kind of set for the moment. Do you see them giving Sanders a longer look at inside linebacker this year?
I think they're worried you start moving him back and forth too much that he doesn't, you waste another year of development. So I think they'd like to look at him at edge a little longer before they make, any definitive decisions about it. I think they consider him an edge player right now. We'll see in May when OTAs start, but as the season ended, they still considered him an edge prospect with a lot of potential. That's a tough injury to come back from. You're not going to be your best right then. So, I think with a little more time, he'll come back this year, really full speed instead of trying to rebound from an Achilles and then show explosiveness, all the way through. But they like him as a prospect, and I'll be intrigued to see, Sean Payton has routinely had the oldest team among the oldest teams in the league in his time in New Orleans.
Not this year.
But, this was a young team this year, and he liked coaching it. So I'm intrigued to see if they've gotten a little religion as far as the draft build element. And when you think about it, they had 5 guys make all pro, and 4 of them were draft picks. So I think that's a pretty good indicator that, George Payton has taken plenty of crap for the Russell Wilson thing and the Randy Gregory thing, but they did have 4 draft picks among 5 All-Pros. And that's a pretty good indicator.
And it does feel like he's different. Sean Payton and George Payton, there's a different pairing than Sean Payton and Mickey Loomis with the way they use their draft capital, right?
Well, they had to too. I mean, that's what I mean. They were forced into it. And they still, they're carrying $32 million dead money this year or in 2025 for Russell Wilson. I think they've got 38 on the books already, roughly, for dead money. So they're already sort of dealing with that before they've even taken 1 minute to think about what they're going to do.
Yeah. So you mentioned that this is the youngest team that Coach Payton is coached. I'm bringing this up because I think it's funny. How does he feel about now being the youngest coach in the AFC West?
By 6 days. By 6 days.
My guess is if you really could get him to express him, he actually referred a little to this at the end of the year when we had him, but I think he would have come back in the NFC if he had really given this some thought. The AFC is, just look at it. Joe Burrow didn't make the playoffs,
Right.
Just look where you're at. And you're almost playing for 2 playoff spots in the AFC every year. And it's a cat fight right now. And I think that's going to be the toughest thing for the Broncos to deal with moving forward. And I know you guys don't like talking about it, but Mahomes is 29. Wrap your head around that for 5 seconds.
He's not going anywhere.
Nope, yeah, I don't want to think about that.
And he's already, before they even play a week from Sunday, he's already won as many Super Bowls in his first 8 years in the league as Tom Brady did. So, you're talking about, that's the guy in your division, and that's you're dealing with. Are you playing for second? Unless you can somehow consistently find a way to beat him and their team.
Yeah.
So that's the issue in the AFC West. You got a lot of quarterback power working at the top, and just the AFC in general. Lamar, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. Wherever you put Justin Herbert on the scale, if Stroud continues his ascension, what's that look like? Those are all playoff quarterbacks in the conference. And I've been doing this a little bit. I haven't seen something like that for a while. That's quite a stack.
And now
you got to head out here soon. So one more question for Jeff here, because I know I want to respect.
I can take a couple more. I got to.
Okay.
I got it.
Unless you're just bored, I can take off now.
Never.
Absolutely not bored. We're glad to have you.
Absolutely.
I got it. I know there's been a lot of talk, about weapons and all that, and a lot of people that are interested. Potentially going after somebody like T. Higgins. Do you see if there's any big free agent moves or free agent players that the Broncos might go after?
And a Garrett Wilson potential trade, kind of in the same vein here. Is that possible?
Yeah, it's hard for me to believe you could get Garrett Wilson without a price tag that doesn't make it worth doing. You know what I mean? It's the firepower you would have to deal to get it would negate whatever he's bringing to the party, so to speak. But I think with a guy like Higgins, his price will be higher than you think, because again, this is a very thin free agency class overall. And even the big name guys are either over 30 by a long shot, like Khalil Mack. Was he 35? He had a great year. He had a fantastic year. But if you're a GM and you're doing the sort of the actuarial numbers, is that an investment you want to make? Is that a smart investment? And like I say, it's a thin free agency class. So T. Higgins is going to get paid a lot. If he chooses to leave, he could just sign back. The fact he switched agents to Jamar Chase's agent has everybody wondering how much he really wants to get into the open market as opposed to staying where he is. And if you're him, how much is it worth to you to have Joe Burrow throwing you the ball? And that's really what your decision comes down to. But I think he will get the payday in free agency in this class.
What about the wide receiver room in general? Like, what does that look like for the Broncos, preseason?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great, I got to believe, though, it's, as is always the case these days with everybody throwing the ball, that the receiver class is fairly deep in the draft. So through day 2 into day 3, you could probably get somebody who's going to compete at least to play. And then, I do think that is a position they would look at in free agency, whether it's the marquee level or the best fit type of player that they would want. And, what are they going to do with Courtland Sutton? I mean, that's
right.
They played hardball with him, all last offseason. They didn't give him the deal he wanted. The incentives they gave him were pretty low impact for the team. They were like, yeah, whatever. If you earn these, we'll gladly pay you.
Yeah.
But they didn't give him a new deal, and that, it's hard for me to believe he wouldn't come back to this offseason and say, I still want a new deal, because he was their number 1 receiver. So,
right.
And I think the stat that's really telling, and if I'm the Broncos, you'd have to wrap your head around this, is Sutton was the only guy they had ranked, I think, in the top 85 in the league in tight window targets. And what that tells you is he's really the only receiver Bo Nix trusted in traffic. And I think that's a big deal, moving forward. Now, at the end of the year, Mims moved into that. The last month of the season, Marvin Mims was, had a real uptick in tight window targets, but that's a very good metric to see who the quarterback really trusts, because you're putting the ball in sort of harm's way in those situations. And again, for the season, Sutton was the only guy in like the top 85 in the league that the Broncos had on that list. So I think if I'm the Broncos, I have to give that some consideration when I'm thinking about what I'm going to do with him.
Yeah.
I think he has 2 years left on his deal right now.
2? Yeah. Okay.
That's good.
What else you got, guys? We have any other questions for him?
How much time you got, Jeff? 20 minutes? 30 minutes? An hour?
20. I probably got 10. We got 10
Okay.
minutes.
That's
It's already like 10 o'clock in Mobile, right? I'm ready to sack out
No,
if I were eating.
it's only
David,
central time
don't-
here. We're
Oh,
good.
okay.
Yeah,
Mr.
I'm
David.
man.
Let's see. Yeah, who
Okay.
else is? Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, just with the way that this team has been progressing since Sean Payton has been here, like, what are you most excited about seeing for the Denver Broncos next year?
Yeah, I'm still, like I was saying, I think I'm really curious as to, if he sort of got draft religion on this. Some of his best New Orleans teams came on the heels of like their 2 best draft classes down there. And then yet the majority of his, I think 11 of the 16 drafts, they didn't have 7 picks in 11 of those drafts. So with, I'm interested to see where he walks the line moving forward, because I think it's a lot easier to be perennially a playoff team with a draft built team. And I think, and then you use free agency for those 2 or 3 guys, like the Eagles. That's largely a draft built team, but they add Barkley, they add the linebacker, comes out of nowhere for an all-pro season. And then, they have 2 rookies in the secondary playing immediately and playing well. So it's that mix, and they didn't do that a lot in New Orleans. That's why they are perpetually, and still to this day, are always wrestling with dead money against the cap, because they sign free agents. They don't play out their contracts. So you're eating that money every time. And I know it's very popular to say that, that you can always work the salary cap, and that is true, but there is no cure for dead money. There's no way to fix it. And every dollar of dead money is a dollar you're not spending on players that other people are. So, I mean, that's the issue. I think that's why when they were forced, because of that, to play a young team this year, I think that should be something they notice, moving forward.
Yeah.
All right, let's get this *𝗕𝗿𝗵𝘁 question in before we have to let Jeff go.
Okay.
Because I want to frame it like this.
Very open.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let me direct it this way. I think we saw them have so much confidence and express so much confidence in 𝗕𝗿𝗵𝘁, partly because he's a young guy, but partly I think because there's a genuine affection there from the coaching staff when they drafted him. Now, do you see that same affection or that same belief in him as a guy who can take another step from past what they've already seen?
Well, that's with any rookie, especially quarterbacks, where's the ceiling?
Mm-hmm.
How close is he? How close did he play this year to what he can maximize,
right?
Himself to be? And that's always the developmental question. And I think the one thing he did was he won over his teammates with
he won over
accountability,
the whole Broncos country,
and he was authentic. Like, he kept his head down and he worked. He wasn't out there doing all kinds of stuff because he was a first-round pick or a quarterback or a starter. You didn't see a whole lot of, him out there. He was just working to be a quarterback, and his teammates really appreciated that. And that's part of the gig when you're a quarterback. You have to be the alpha, whether you like it or not, whether you think it's fair or not. You got to be the first one in and the last one out. And if you don't want to live that way, then you should get another gig, because that's what your teammates expect from you. And not everybody's built for that. And I think they discovered he is built for that. He was coached well before he got to the Broncos and raised well by his parents, and, all of those things. It's like Surtain. His mom and dad did a great job, and that makes an elite, rare player even better. So I think that's their hope in Nix, is that foundational attitude. He'll put in the work. The questions are just X's and O's, whether people want to accept it or not. I mean, defensive coaches think as the year progressed, the more they forced him to throw outside the numbers, the better it was for the defense. And that'll be his issue moving forward. He is going to have to challenge people outside the numbers and down the field, or they're going to keep squeezing them all the time. They're going to take away all that middle intermediate area in the middle of the field and make him go other places. And that's really the developmental part for him right now, and to get some of his footwork cleaned up. He would drift into straddle throws and pepper his feet a little too much sometimes, but those are all young player things, but that's where he is right now. I think they're happy with him, because they got the hardest piece to find in a lot of ways, which is you got to want the job. I asked Elway once way back, what was tougher, doing the job or having the job? And he said, no contest, having the job is the hardest thing, because of what everybody expects of you every day. And you don't get a day off from being the quarterback.
Yeah. Nope, I love it, man. Well, look, Jeff,
time for one more. You got to go.
Okay, one more. I got one more in me.
One more. Okay. I got one more for you. So we're talking about coaching staff here. So obviously our tight end coach Doyle
they had a late run here. They were thinking when the season ended it wasn't going to be too much of a change, and then some of these new head coaching hires. I think Johnny Moe even may have surprised him a little bit, but that's a long-standing relationship. Johnny Morton, I should say.
Yeah.
So that's what I was going to get to. Obviously, the late time, like some of our position coach, I think Doyle takes an offensive coordinator job up in Chicago. Obviously, it's trying to keep the coaching staff together, creates that consistency for the team. With a couple small moves that we made, obviously keeping our coordinators together, do we feel like that's going to help us into the future? And what are your kind of thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think he can absorb. They were staffed heavy on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, Pete Carmichael's in the building already, and he's worked for Sean forever. That would be a natural move to what Morton was doing, sort of passing game guy. Lombardi's still there as offensive coordinator, so there wouldn't be much change Carmichael could fill any gaps he wants, and he could hire a young guy. They will have to promote or do something with Davis Webb at some point. He's going to get more interest from people. There was already, people sort of poking around about Davis because of the work he's done with the quarterbacks. I mean, Zach Wilson's a much better player now than when he arrived, and Bo Nix just threw the second most touchdowns for any rookie in history. So, Davis Webb you're never going to call plays with the Broncos because Sean Payton's going to call plays, but they may have to increase his role to keep him around, and maybe that's something they do as well moving forward.
Like it.
Similar at defensive coordinator. Like, do we have 1 year left with both these kind of guys?
Yeah, I think, I think Vance will continue to get interest just because I think they're going to be good enough to garner interest. They're, some of their yardage stuff was weird during the year, but their advanced metrics were very high all season. I mean, they finished 1, 2, or 3 in the real metrics that people use now. EPA, all of those things are things that GMs look at, the people doing the hiring. So I think as long as they keep playing the way they did this season, that he'll get interest. And, I think people see improvement on a lot of play, Benito's big jump in a position group that Vance has a lot to do with. I mean, Vance turned Hassan Reddick into one of the highest priced free agents in the market. People forget that because they don't like the way he was the head coach here, but he's pretty respected around the league. So I think you would get some interest moving forward.
No, good question. All right. Well, Jeff, seriously, thank you so much, man. It's always a pleasure to have you on, man. And thank you for making the time for us as you're busy down there at the Senior Bowl. We definitely, and the fans appreciate having you on as well. I wish we could have every single question brought up to you, but we just don't have the time for that. But definitely, thank you, man.
Well, maybe later in the off season, we'll take some notes, but I appreciate it.
Sounds good.
Good to see you guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
Take care.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, everyone, that's Jeff Legwold from ESPN, and just another way of us saying thank you. We want to make sure that we brought him up here to ask or answer some of your questions and everything. But with that being said, we're going to move on to our next prize to keep us on time here. So, Jared, who we got up next?
No pressure.
Next is Spotty.
Gotcha.
I just real quick though, I do love that John and your comment just now, like Jeff just drops like, oh yeah, this conversation that I had with John Elway the other day, and I'm all like,
yeah. John's like freaking out, like,
I
can say that.
You asked that question when Elway was a player, like the amount of information that man has for the Denver Broncos is insane.
Oh my gosh,
like
it is.
We are truly blessed to be able to talk to a man like that, and that he takes the time to be on the show. Because man, hats off to Jeff.
Wow,
he's awesome.
John's had a
read
lot
all
to
of
drink.
They're all amazing. They're all well written. Sorry. Sorry, David. Yeah, whatever.
He's not wrong, but like there's no lies detected here. But
you can't judge John for the fangirl that he just had for Jeff because
definitely not David.
We announced Jeff, and I'm pretty sure it took you about a few hours to be able to respond because of the excitement you had.
Oh, if we had gone on on air afterwards, I couldn't have been on camera physically, and I think you know what I'm trying to say. It would not have been
like full body, or what do we?
Partially. But no. That being said. Is all I have to say to that. And as we transition into Spotty's prize, guys,
like Spotty following this all up, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to remind everybody that we are a serious podcast.
Yeah, and we are brought to you by Breckenridge Distillery, 5280 blend Broncos whiskey. So we are very serious, and we are very sponsored. So thank you to them.
We're very sponsored.
David, there was a comment that was like, "Oh, real podcast, you guys got Jeff Legwold," and I was like, just so everybody knows, Jeff will come on. This is the third time this year.
This year, yeah.
Jeff
third time this year. He's been on probably about 3 to 4 times a year. He's with us, yeah.
Well, he
incredible
knows
human
Kevin's
being.
name.
Incredible human being who'll jump on with us yahoos and answer questions as we talk over each other.
Right? Absolutely. Talk over each other, mixed in with periods of awkward silence.
Meanwhile,
Yes.
here's a coffee cup.
Well,
Okay.
but
No,
Okay,
just do
because,
that question.
the working men, they have coffee. My question's a lot easier than everybody else's, it seems like. So, but it does involve defensive player of the year, kind of like John steals my thunder. It's like we were roommates or something at one point. So, with the potential of 𝗕𝗿𝗲 being a defensive player of the year, who was the last AP defensive player of the year for the Broncos? And this is a double-double if you know anything about what happened this year as well.
Dude, I had to look this up earlier today because
This is a double-double because this person is pretty high up on our on another list that happened earlier. Just saying.
yeah, recently, relatively
yep.
recently.
Relevancy.
You can almost say he's the only other Bronco that won.
Woo, maybe. I said last. It still works, my man.
Which is
Only
crazy.
other
I could have sworn another Bronco in recent history.
That surprised me.
It's very spicy.
Yeah.
Very spicy. I think everyone jumped off after Jeff left.
It's a deep cut. Also, last defensive player of the year for the Broncos.
Yep. So first person to reply with the answer in the comments gets these mugs. Who was the last
I'm
defensive player to win DPOY for the Broncos?
I think no one wants your coffee mug, Spotty.
Well,
Yeah.
I really hope they want to answer this question right.
They're going to be.
I think they're going to want to
happier
answer
too.
this question.
No pressure.
Let's see.
I'm running a little empty.
Well, talking about stealing thunder, Sean already took thunder from the question I was going to ask earlier with who's the youngest coach in the AFC West. But okay, we have a couple guesses.
Gotta get a new,
Yeah.
gotta
You
get a
better
new
start
question.
Googling, Kev, for some better questions.
I already have one.
Dude, I know.
Clayton
I
says
thought John was
Gilmore.
gonna do mine.
Andrew
Okay.
says Vaughn.
That's who I would have thought, but I was shocked to see that he was.
No.
JJ Watt.
I
Wait,
looked up who I
swear to
thought
God-
it was, and I think I was wrong.
But
I
I,
Okay,
swear to
Sean,
God,
I
if
got another.
TJ Watt steals it from Surtain, I'm not going to be happy.
No, that can't happen. There's no way. I don't.
think.
you know what, though? It's
The
numbers.
NFL
Man
works
forces
in
a
serious
lot of
ways.
fumbles.
Was that David? Spotty?
TJ forces a lot of fumbles. It's
I
like
get it.
it's like 6 or 7 fumbles. Like if it comes down to it, that's what it's going to be, right? Because what the last true corner to win it was Gilmore, right?
No,
Isn't it
Gilmore.
like
I think
Charles
the last
Wood?
true corner to win it was Stephon Gilmore.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Like when he was with the Patriots, and that's
I
what
mean, yeah.
also got him paid.
Secondaries. I don't know if that's correct. I don't know. What are you going off of, Spotty? What was the exact question? Like
AP Defensive Player of the Year.
defensive
Player of the year. I
AP.
could give another hint.
He's in the Hall of Fame?
I'm looking
They're
through this
a
list.
recent Hall of Famer.
There it is.
Recent Hall of Famer.
There it is.
Do we have it?
Oh yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I mean. Deep cut. Yes.
Jacob.
That's
There
right.
it is.
There it is.
Now,
Jacob. Oh,
Jacob.
Jacob. The positive attitude, Jacob. Might
Jacob
be
po-
very happy.
well,
to-
here's the kicker.
He's about to be really happy.
He's about to be really happy. So, Spotty, do you want to tell him why he's about to be really happy?
Well, I don't know if everybody even remembers this. We got a little drunk on Breckenridge whiskey, and I promised that if 𝗕𝗿𝗲𝗃 wins Defensive Player of the Year, it's no longer going to be a mug. I'm going to get Jacob. You'll get a Defensive Player of the Year 𝗕𝗿𝗃 jersey.
Ooh, the upgrade.
So,
Woo!
you will get an upgrade from the mugs to a PS2 jersey if he wins Defensive Player of the Year. Otherwise, you'll be stuck with the mugs, which are just as awesome. Don't be wrong; they're pretty awesome mugs. But
He loves coffee.
He's
So
gonna
we're
be
good.
like,
love
"Wah,
coffee.
wah, wah."
It's a
In the
win-win.
show.
Could you imagine though, like he wins the Defense Player of the Year? It's like you're getting the jersey. Like I'd prefer the
Man,
mug.
can I get the
Grab a mug. Wait, Spotty, is this the color scheme he's getting?
See, John only knows this because he talked to me earlier today. That's negotiable. I think the only one that's like off the table is the retro, because that one's pain in the ass to get right now.
Yeah, really hard.
So
I mean,
if it happens,
we'll be happy to wait.
yeah. So Jacob, message us on our page so that I can get your contact information, your address, and everything. We're going to go ahead and wait. So this is going to be announced the Thursday before the Super Bowl, so February 6th. And so we'll wait to see what happens there to send out your prize, buddy. But thank you very much, Jacob. Good job on answering that question, man. And good luck on the potential upgrade there, man. So
yeah, I'm
fantastic.
crossing my fingers for both you and the Denver Broncos.
Well, if we get the jerseys out, we should get a picture and tag. That way we can blow it up on our socials too.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah,
say that behind the scenes, Spotty.
No,
I know we can say that out loud. We say the weird thing out loud.
When have we not?
We always,
when have we not
always say the
thing
weird
out
thing out loud.
You have no idea what's been going through my head.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
All right, Kev, is it time to bring on our next guest?
Yeah, we're bringing him on for a few minutes here, and this is none other than Scott the Flagman. Dude, woo! You've been running that Flagman tailgate for years now, and dude, it's so good to have you join us on the post-game podcast show that we do on Monday nights, and thank you for all your support and helping us out with that. But dude, how you doing tonight, man?
Man, I'm doing well. How can I not be doing well? Just kind of chilling. It's been a busy day, but you know what? Best thing after a busy day is a little whiskey
Breckenridge Distillery
with a little beer.
Love it, man.
Loving it.
Love it. Well, really quickly, and Jared, we'll mix up some of the prize order here. We'll have Scott go next, but before we do, man, give us a little history of the Flagman tailgate, how it started, and how many flags you have now, man.
Yeah, when did you start? How long has it been, man?
You know what? The first year that the Flagman tradition started was 2017. That's the first time my family started saying, "Hey, you're the Flagman," and they gave me my first Bronco jersey that had Flagman on it. And of course, 17 is a great number. And because it's always been my lucky number anyway. And it just happened to be the first year we decided, you know what, I'm going to embrace that, because it kind of started out very simple. We weren't tailgaters for the longest time. And then they shut down the Bronco barn, and we didn't like the options. So we started just kind of hanging in the parking lot, in the middle of the parking lot. And it was just me and my beautiful Flagman. And, I said, I like that guy over there that's got flags around his car. And then suddenly I started adding flags. And at one point, some lady from across the parking lot said, "Hey, my husband's got flag envy. Where are you getting all these flags?" And I think at that point I had 8 flags, and people were like, "What the heck?" And then it just blew up. I thought, if I had some place to be able to put more poles that would stand up freestanding, I could go nuts. And then it went to 13 flags, and then it went to 19 flags. And then after a season, after 2017, I was sitting at Wild Wings with my beautiful daughter, and I said, I bet you we could get to 30 flags. And she says, "You don't even have 30 flags, Dad." And that's when eBay became my best friend. And it's just kind of got it's out of control now. And this year we flew 120 flags at most of the games. We had a little bit of an issue with our secondary car that we were bringing down there to help do this, but it's been a journey. And the creativity and how to get the flags, all of them onto onto these poles is just amazing. And I'm just constantly thinking, I don't know. But we were up to 120, and I thought that was cool. And I've started adding flags that I created, which is awesome. So, and actually, you know, that I think I sent you a picture of the flag that I'm going to hand out. That was by my design. So,
well, let's get into it, man. We got it right here. Your prize giveaways. Not only the flag that you designed, Bo Leaves, but a couple Christmas ornaments as well.
Oh my gosh.
One of which is a iconic moment from this season, man. An absolutely iconic moment. Who doesn't want that hanging on the Christmas tree? Right?
Oh, I want it. Actually, I do.
Yeah. Can I answer whatever the question is?
No, you're not eligible.
Lame.
So the question, or over to you, Scott. How do you want to give this away? Are you gonna ask a trivia question, or what do you want to do, man?
Well, I think, obviously, trivia is fantastic, and there's so much about the Broncos that is cool. And I guess what I want to ask is, who is the leading passer in Bronco history? And this may be easy because we've had some great quarterbacks. We got John Elway, we got Peyton Manning, who was amazing over 4 years. We've got the Jake Plummer, and Greg Morton is such an underrated quarterback and so tough. So I want to know who's the leading passer in history. And then I got a second question that you got to get right to. But
and you're talking about yards, total passing yards?
Yes.
Are you waiting for the correct answer to the first one?
Who owns the most passing yards in Broncos history?
Are you waiting for the correct answer before the second question?
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Well, I saw somebody right away.
Well, Angelo gets it.
Angelo,
now, Angelo, you have to answer the follow-up question.
Now, when did Elway play his final home game at Mile High Stadium?
We'll give you 2 minutes here, Angelo. You got to answer that to complete the win here.
Otherwise, I think Tracy's up number 2. If Angelo,
yeah, Tracy would be number 2.
So when was Elway's final game in Mile High is the question. I like this, dude, and I love the reaction you guys all gave for the Nick Bonito tournament there.
Oh
it was the same as mine, man.
I mean, you're gonna have to send that link here. Scott, you gotta send that link to get that.
These are so cool, and they have every team. If you want to do, what was it? No.
Every year we do a family Christmas ornament, and I think that'll be next year for my family.
There's so many different versions of things that they did.
January 1999.
Okay, what game was that?
Oh,
okay, what game was that? You're making them work for it.
You get another 2
minutes,
Angel.
I know what it was. I can even say who they played.
I assume it was like AFC champion. I'm just guessing at this point, but
yes. Yeah, that time, it would be a playoff game. So was it the divisional round? Or was it the championship round?
Yeah, because all the Super Bowls fall into February. And obviously, Super Bowl wouldn't be a home game.
No, Jared.
Angelo's getting a little.
Let me get through my thought process, okay?
Angelo's like, just give me the prize.
It's a four-fold question.
Who are they playing, Angelo? Come on, man.
Yeah, what round was it?
As well,
One step away.
You got it was in January.
Yeah.
Now you got 2 choices. Was it against the against the who was it? Jaguars that we played in the wild card?
Ooh.
That's a throwback.
Well, I know the answer now because I
That might have
remember
been
that.
divisional, or was it against the Jets?
Yeah.
I feel like we give it to Angelo just
I
because
say
we're gonna give it to Angelo,
he's
but
trying hard.
Angelo's gonna get it.
It
Angela's
was
getting
it was the
Jets,
Jaguars,
but
right?
It was the AFC Championship game,
Oh yeah, AFC and Jets.
Yep.
which
Well,
never should have been as close as it was. But boy, it made me a little nervous for a while.
Yeah.
Well, that
Sure
that
did.
punt return where we knocked the ball out.
Yeah,
That was a little scary that first half.
it sure was.
Yeah.
Well, Angelo, you won yourself a Bo Leaves flag, a very custom one, as well as those two ornaments there. I think your family's gonna be proud to see the nickel and dime one hanging on your tree this time next year. So, Angelo, go ahead and message me on Facebook so we can get your contact information. Remember, guys, if you've won a prize already, you're not eligible for any more except for the grand prize at the very end of the show. So keep sticking around for more. Scott, that was great, man. Thank you very much, dude. It's good to have you on the show. And seriously, thank you again for all your help this year, buddy. I'm looking forward to making some more, podcasts and everything with you in the future, man.
Yeah, we got a great season coming up, and I'm just, you know me, I'm Mr. Positivity. And
For sure.
so I'm excited. I'm over the moon on where we're going to go with this team.
I love it.
That's great, man.
100%.
Okay, well, dude, you have a good rest of your night. We're going to move on to our next guest and our next prize. But, buddy, you take care of yourself. As always,
Thank
go
you so much,
Broncos,
man.
man.
Thanks,
And,
guys.
Broncos.
we'll talk to
Nice
you
seeing
soon, buddy. Okay, man, that was a great one. And
If anyone needs a tailgate for Broncos games, go see that man.
He's the guy.
Flag man.
Yep.
I mean, Kev, do you know where's the park? Where do they go? What's the parking lot?
it's in
What's
the south end of Lot C.
C?
So on the southern side of the stadium there, and just look for the 100+ flags that are flying.
Yeah.
Correct.
And
You go to
won't
Lot
miss
C,
it.
you can't miss it.
You
So,
can't
yeah,
miss
Jason,
it.
don't be
Nicest
dead.
man.
You're right,
Bring a
Kev.
12-pack, bring a 6-pack. You'll be fine. Like you'll fit right in.
Yep.
Nicest people. Food.
Yeah.
Like you got food available to you. Like I love the man. He's a great.
Yeah, did we ever get him an Orange Weekly flag? I know we were talking about it for a while.
He made one for us. He made one.
Did he?
He has
I'm
one
not gonna
flying.
lie.
Yep.
We
So
have
he's
failed
flying
to
an
do that.
Orange Weekly, a Bourbon Bronx No BS flag. So all love to him, man. I love it.
That's awesome. Well, we're going to move on to our next guest. Keep us on time here. I know we're falling a little behind, but no worries there. Next up, the newest member of Bourbon Broncos No BS, Mr. Adam. Adam, how you doing, good sir?
My man. My man.
Now, Adam, I'm going to introduce you this way, buddy. I learned something about you last night, and I'm going to ask the guys here.
Oh, here we go.
Question amongst the other guys.
Amongst the group,
Who
yeah.
is-
this is
Not
Who is the oldest member of Bourbon Broncos No BS? Who is the oldest host of Bourbon Broncos and No BS?
I feel like this is a trick question here, Kev Dan.
I don't like it.
Are we talking age or are we talking like
Age.
who's been
Age.
hosting longest?
What are we? Okay,
Age.
what else?
Yeah, what else would it be?
Right.
Well, I'm assuming it's Adam, huh?
It is Adam. And so look at Adam.
Wow.
Oh,
And
that's
Adam,
right.
Adam, where
I literally
swear-
Way to
Where's
call
the
the
right
guy
guy?
out, Kev. Kev, you can't just
This
bring him
is-
on and just
I'm
call him
so
out like that.
jealous.
Like that's not.
I think I have
don't
to.
look that young, okay? And I am way younger than him. So, Adam, I don't know what your secret is, but dude,
I don't particularly do any. I don't like have a regimen or anything. I go outside. I go work. I lift during the day. I drink a lot of water. I don't know. My
Jared heard the word lift and he was like, "Yeah, okay."
Hey,
My,
man, perennially late coming back
Oh
from
yeah,
the gym.
perennially coming from the gym. Spotty over there. Yeah.
As long as we're calling people out, I have to call out John for not knowing a little bit more about his co-host.
Yeah, how dare you, John?
No. I learned this last night and I just blacked it out.
Already
I'll
messed
be honest with you.
Yeah.
John kind
Until
of.
now, I blacked it out. Yeah, that's fine.
Well, John,
that's life.
That's life.
Every day's an adventure.
Well, Adam, seriously, first off, thank you so much for all your help this year, hopping on the post game podcast as well.
Love you.
It's really good to have you part of the crew, man. And you have some great insights and everything. So I'm looking forward to working with you more in the future as well, bud. But yeah, like really quickly, what are some of your quick thoughts on the Broncos, man? And then we'll go over to your prize.
Wait, hold on. Adam isn't even the oldest on the, like, it's not even close.
It's not even close.
Pull out the abacus, Jared.
What did you say, Spider?
Oh, it's in my daughter's room. She's sleeping. I can't do that.
The abacus.
Abacus.
Hibiscus.
You'll need an abacus for this. I'm shocked with the answer to. You don't have to give it if you don't want to. I don't care. You probably get it all the time, but
all the time.
You are the fountain of youth, and I'm curious. There's got to be more to it, but we talked about enough.
He doesn't drink like you do, John.
Thank you.
I didn't say any. I have not said a word. I have not said anything. I am not here to judge. I left my gavel. I left my gavel and my wig somewhere else. I'm not here to
I think he's making it up. I don't think it's true. I don't want to see a birth certificate.
Okay. Well,
no, I don't.
Pull out the birth certificate later.
Don't show up live. Let's not do that.
Let's not do that. No.
That's
Yeah, man.
Let me go put it back.
Yeah, go for it. What are some of your quick thoughts on the Broncos, man, before we go over to your prize?
Oh man, it's a refreshing feeling to I was writing a piece on my blog that I get out, and I actually wrote that like the Broncos are not going to be in the market for a starting quarterback this offseason. And how insane is that to even go into the next season? Like the baseline for this year was just, is Bo the guy? Like, are we moving in the right direction? And I think it was even fair, is Sean the guy? And I think that, this was a franchise a little bit on the precipice a little bit, and that had to get stripped down to the studs. Fortunately for everybody, we came out on the right side of that. So to go into an off season not wondering like what's the next guy going to be like, what's the next offensive coordinator going to be like, what's the next draft class going to be like, now there's like some stability, and when there's some stability, that's going to breed familiarity, and that breeds success, and that's what's anything. So I'm beyond excited for what next season brings.
Dude, it's going to be fun. The post-game podcast is fun again. I can say again because it was never really fun to begin with, but it's fun now. So it's good to have you, man. But let's bring up your prize here. Looks like you're going to be giving away a Broncos wooden sign, and see what you got. How are you going to give this away, man?
All right. So my question, I love trivia, and I love kind of being a little sneaky a little bit. So here's what I thought. Terrell Davis was famously drafted in the 95 NFL draft in the 6th round. He then went on to become the Super Bowl 32 MVP. There were 2 other people in his draft class that were on the same Super Bowl roster. There are 3 players. Name one of those 3 players.
Okay, all right. I like the
in his draft class.
In the 95 draft class.
That were on the Super Bowl roster.
That were on the Super Bowl roster.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Fuck.
Going back.
I got a couple in my head.
That's a good one, man.
Von Miller, right? That's one of them for
sure. Von Miller definitely one.
I worked
Randy
so
Gradishar,
hard.
right?
Bo Nix was number 2. Yeah, Gradishar. White Little.
I doubt Bo's parents were even married yet at that point. Like, let's be honest here.
Kevin Conner.
I'm just saying.
I don't know. Bro's pretty old, bro.
That's true.
Hey,
I
that
was-
is true. That is
Shots
true.
fired.
Did John get one?
Well, Sean already won. Sean already won.
For the
so-
record, none of them were starters. As I'm looking at it,
Wait,
I got
you
one.
say
Okay,
that
wow,
Rod-
this was one of my.
Did you say Rod Smith is part of the draft class, though?
No.
Yeah, Jared, come on.
no, I'm looking at the
Andrew
1995 team,
Latimer? No.
and the only rookie that was a starter was 'Даvis.
He didn't ask for a starter.
What? What was?
Sorry,
what was
Andrew.
that word?
Not right.
I
What was
caught
that
that.
mumble
Hold on,
thing you
guys.
said before?
Right, he said-
Spotty speaks drunk John. What do you say?
I heard.
he didn't ask for a starter.
Okay.
No.
No,
That's why I'm bringing up the fun part of this is that the three that were part of that draft class
Yes.
were none of them were starters. So
No,
it's
none
a
of-
He
tricky
and I
question.
heard starter, and that's all I heard.
Sorry, I thought you
Yeah.
wanted them to be starters. That's my bad.
No, I didn't want them to be. I think it's kind of interesting that none of them we had
You're
one
making
rookie
a
starter
fun
that
fact, and
year.
I was saying you're an idiot.
Kevin, are you doing
Well-
a really good job at messaging on every different service that we have that we're on?
Oh,
Kevin's a showmaster. Kevin knows what he's doing.
That giggle play right there.
There's only
Yeah,
a few
we
things
are
that I can
show
do
masters
well in
here.
I know
As
a lot
I'm
about
drinking
Kevin.
beer,
I have no
like-
idea how the show works.
Oh man,
I know.
I don't know how he makes this thing happen the way he does. That's just that. I think
Not
he's
Rod
mad.
Smith.
That's
That's why you're not part of it,
from the
John.
1995 draft class.
Yeah, wrong.
Yep.
Did we get the right answer yet?
No,
not
there
yet.
has not been one right. No.
Do you want to give a hint?
I didn't.
Adam?
All
I don't
right,
recognize any names.
I will give a hint. There
Was
was
Rod Smith undrafted?
Rod
Yes.
Smith was undrafted.
Oh,
and
sorry. There's one person I recognize.
I also only recognized one. Go ahead, Adam.
let's see. What's a good hint? Of the three, two played defense or two played offense, one played defense. And
it's so another fun thing. So obviously we know 𝗕𝗿𝗲𝗵𝗁 was a 6th-round pick. Everybody knows that. I'm
Yep.
looking at this in that 1995 draft class. We had no picks until the 4th round.
fourth round. I almost wanted to be a little sneaky and say who was our first round pick in that 95 draft, just to see if I could. And if somebody could say, "Oh, we didn't have one." Aha.
Aha.
Trick question.
Wait, so what was the answer?
Angelo already won.
We don't have a.
Yeah, Angelo
we don't have an
already
answer
won.
yet.
Waiting? Come on, guys.
You got this. I believe in my fans. We got this, guys.
I believe
We have the power.
Oof.
We have the computing strength to put a
Oof.
man on the moon.
Adam, you are learning a powerful lesson. Make it Googleable. Google.
Oh, this is Googleable. I Googled it.
I found it by
So,
Google.
one of them played for the Air Force.
I, think
I don't
Tracy got it.
recognize the name.
Is that right?
That's
Tracy?
Or,
Yeah.
Adam?
There we go. Okay, Tracy got it.
Tracy got it.
There's
Yeah.
one. There's
So
one
Russ
more
played
though.
for the Air Force.
Yeah.
I think
Steve
it was
Russ.
one out of the three, though, was the answer.
You only needed one, though, right?
You need
Yeah.
Only needed one.
Oh,
Okay.
Cyrus,
Tracy wins.
Sean's
Ja-
answer is great.
Jamie
'cause
Brown.
Spain.
Jamie Brown
Amy
was
Brown
was on
the
the
first
team.
person we picked up in that draft. Yep.
So Angelo would have won this one too.
Oh,
I think that's what he was going with JB, but
Okay.
he already won a previous prize. So, but this one is definitely going to Tracy.
Congrats. That was a tough
Congrats,
one.
Tracy. That was
I-
that was good though.
I appreciate Adam here being a man of honor and not Googling it. So,
Hey, Tracy,
thank you.
make sure you can find us on Facebook and send me a message so I can get your contact information so we can get you this prize. Congratulations, Tracy, and thank you for all your support. Definitely glad to have you here. That's fantastic, guys. Man,
so this isn't,
Adam?
this isn't a jersey?
No, not a jersey on this one.
Ah,
We're not doing that for all I'm going for. Way to go, Spotty. Just steal the show.
That's
We are-
great, guys.
What? You did this. This is you.
No.
This is me.
No, Spot. On Spot. By far, it's on
Yes.
Spot. Everything.
Well, Adam, Seriously, thank you so much for joining us, man. Thank you for giving away the prize there. Tracy's from Atlanta. I'm sure she's going to hang that proudly in Falcons country out there. Definitely show off that blue and orange amongst all the red and black out there.
Hell yeah.
And just and Tracy, just a good way to remind people of how the Broncos beat up not just the Falcons this year, but in the Super Bowl as well. So.
Yeah, bring that up.
They've got enough stuff to worry about. 28-3.
Yeah.
Hate to see it.
Falcons catching a lot of strays here for reasons. That's all
Just
right.
saying.
All right.
It's just for
It's kind
reasons.
of like when Kev went after the Bills fans just because
I didn't even really go after
You
them
went-
until they came after me. I
you
was just
went-
defending myself. That's all.
Look at how fast he reacts.
Ooh,
It's like the new Kev,
boy.
his reaction comment.
Like, okay.
Oh, man.
Okay.
I don't think Kev ever knew that people on the internet were negative.
Right.
Yeah,
No,
I had no
it's
idea.
So weird.
I thought I thought everybody was just nice, but turns out not to be true, especially in
Nope.
comment section.
Nope.
Turns
There's a
out
lot
the
of
comment
rumors
read
section
the
can be a
there.
toxic place. Yeah.
Weird how that happens, especially
Interesting,
when
isn't
50%
it?
of them are robots. So there's that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You gotta
Well, hey,
watch- you
Adam.
gotta watch out for
Hey,
that.
Adam,
What?
we're going to let you go, man. We're going to move on to our next prize, but thank you for all your help this year. Looking forward to working with you more. And as always, dude, go Broncos, buddy.
Oh,
man.
go Broncos. Thank you for having me, guys. I am truly honored. The privilege is mine. Truly.
Awesome, dude.
Love it.
You have a good night, man. We'll catch you later, okay?
All right,
Yeah,
take it easy, guys.
later, Adam.
Adios.
But who's the
Okay,
youngest
guys.
of us all? Now that we've said that,
We'll get to that
Angelo.
question in a second. Just a quick shout out to Angelo and Sean. I saw your visor comments earlier. You're a member of Team Puffball now. You're going to have to clean it up. But Angelo knows the way. Angelo knows the way.
We're not so petty in Team Visor that we don't wear the other teams just out of pettiness. Like, it still keeps our head warm in the months that you need to keep your head warm. I'm not wearing a puffball in July. All right,
See,
just
and
saying.
it's not so much a question of pettiness on Team Puffball's part. It's just there's no occasion for a visor. You can wear a hat. You can wear a hat with a full top on it, and it's fine. So
Do you guys keep this going for show? Like, I don't understand who gives a fuck.
Everybody.
This is our longest standing running joke here at Bourbon
Everybody.
Broncos.
Yeah.
yes,
It is.
It's hard. It's hard to keep up.
Well, no
that
one
being
keeps
said,
it
I'm
on,
not-
so that's why.
Beyond
not giving
You're not
away.
involved.
beyond more shows. Beyond more shows.
I'm not
Everybody
giving
needs to
away a
get heads
visor
up.
this year. And
No,
as we
but
move on
Jared.
to, I think I'm next.
You
Yeah,
are
I'm
next,
looking at my
buddy.
schedule.
Well,
Yeah.
okay,
I'm next.
real quick, Jared, when was the last time you wore a visor on this show?
On the show,
That
last
should be
year.
your fucking question.
Yeah, about halfway last year, I switched to my dad's old school wear. I got this out of his closet one day and was like,
That's
"This is
not- that's not
legit,"
what I'm
and
asking. That wasn't the question.
it's been a thing.
That's
And
not-
well, no, I've just worn it ever since. That's what I'm trying to get at. Like, I wore the visor all the way up until I found this thing, and then now I'm addicted.
Well, now you're not
I mean-
answering my question. You're still not answering my question.
John's belligerently drunk. That's the stage of the show that we
Yes.
entered, guys. Yeah, this is.
Well, we can't have
Too
nice
much
things.
5280 for him. Too much 5280.
Breckenridge Distillery, guys. Check it out. Delicious stuff. With that,
Also,
Jared, buddy.
That's a
You
great
can
that's a
drink
great
this
transition,
forever.
John. Oh yeah.
Forever you can drink
Love
this.
it. So
Congratulations.
on that transition of halfway through last season, I decided to switch to the golf hat or whatever you call these things. And I can't even find these on eBay. So I found the closest thing that I possibly could. So Kevin, you want to, yeah. So I found this thing online. And if anybody wants this, you can answer this question. I was originally thinking that my question would be, what's the best headwear between the visor or the puffball? But since I'm not giving away a puffball, should John just leave out of hysterics?
Good riddance.
So instead, I am going to ask a question. So specifically about the Denver Broncos, and we've been around Orange Weekly and Bourbon Broncos and No BS.
If anybody wants,
We've been around
this.
for 10 years. We've been around for 10 years. And kind of going back on the draft, it's kind of the closest thing I could find to this.
I like
going
it,
back
man.
on the draft piece. Going back, I'm gonna order one of these. I'm gonna wear it next
Oh,
next
yeah.
year. And so going back on the draft, and so we've been around since 2016 is when we started Orange Weekly. And I obviously I could go to who was our number one pick. We talked early on the show about Brock Osweiler leaving, Peyton Manning retiring. So we know who the number one overall pick. Who was the most important person to the Denver Broncos in that 2016 draft class that really just helped us kind of set the way for where we are now?
Wolf, that's
a subjective question.
Yeah,
it is not.
It
is not. Look at the draft class. Look at the draft class.
Also, my God, what?
Who is the most revered person in that draft class that really stuck around with us for ever, and we still respect him to this day?
I gotta know exactly who it is. It's just
I was not paying attention to what you said.
I know you weren't. We know.
I just got to say, the fans love this.
Best
The
player
fans are laughing. I can hear them laughing through the screen.
We're going with best player from the 2016 draft, Jared. Just flat out.
Yeah, sure. The best player for the Broncos, and the best player. I guess you're right. The best player overall from that 2016 draft.
How about this? I'm gonna make this promise right now. Whoever wins this, you tell me what Broncos game you're going to, and I will meet you at the Flagman's tailgate, and I will hug you. I will meet you. I don't know what.
You have to wear the hat though.
Maybe I shouldn't start saying this, but
yeah. What is this, John? How did we get this here to here?
I need money, David.
I don't understand how that connects to what you're doing right now. Are you going to rob this?
I need more whiskey is what I need.
Is that?
Yeah.
Andrew.
Jared.
Andrew. Yep.
Yeah.
Justin
Okay.
Simmons.
I think my tip was going to be we were just talking trash about his team with Tracy. So.
Yes. Yeah. And I think the biggest piece of this was like we forget we had such terrible draft classes after the Super Bowl. Like it was just kind of a rough couple of years of draft classes and getting rid of them. And the one that we got right, Justin Simmons, was by far the one that we got right there in that draft class. So congratulations, Andrew. I hope you wear that. I hope you wear it. Shoot us your info. What's that?
Still hasn't been in the playoffs.
Yeah, that does suck. Yeah. That is rough for Justin. But he still loved him, bro. He's going to retire a Bronco.
He should.
Oh, yeah. Him and Vaughn, yeah. Those guys, they're going to come back and retire as Broncos. Seriously, Andrew, congratulations, man. Great job on that. And hope you enjoy it. Again, send me a message on Facebook or whatever so I can get your contact information, buddy.
I'm not kidding. Andrew, let me know when you're going to the next Bronco game. I guarantee Kevin will be there. So,
yes.
Yeah, yep. I will make a point to be there too because, I mean, that might sound easy, but I go to very few Broncos games.
Next year's home games look nice.
What's that?
Yeah.
Next year's home games look
nice. Great. You got a point
there. Okay, guys. We're getting there. We got one more little prize to give away, and then we're going on to our grand prize at the end of the show here. So stick around. Remember, if you won a prize already tonight, you will be eligible for the grand prize later on. And we're going to figure out how to give that away. So guys, keep thinking as we go through this one. But up next, I'm going to be giving away a custom set of 6 coasters with our logo on it, as well as this World Champions orange towel that you could wear, take to the Bronco game or just, hang up on your wall or whatever the case is. So, guys, question for you on it's kind of a 2-parter here. Who was the Broncos owner that sold the team to Pat Bowlen? And what head coach did that owner hire as soon as he came into office there?
I might know the coach without looking, but I don't know the owner.
I'll go ahead and let you know that.
I remember the owner's name. I don't remember the coach. I remember the owner's name.
So he did fire Red Miller.
I knew it.
And I'm looking for the head coach that took over after
you
Red
idiot.
Miller. So
you gave it away.
Who was the owner name and who was the first head coach under that owner before he sold it? Tracy says best prize of the night. I was kind of
He's
thinking
talking
that
about the hat
Spotty's
from earlier.
upgrade. Oh, is that what she's doing? Yeah.
I just assumed so naturally.
Yeah. I feel like Kev is kind of cherry picking here because it's his question, and also I don't know.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I was going to save this for the grand prize question, but the question I was going to originally ask was who's the youngest head coach in the AFC West, and by how many days is he the youngest by? But we've already crossed that bridge.
That's the question you came up with after scrambling?
Yeah, I was going to make it easy.
Question.
I don't know. These two-parters, man. Like if they've been drinking the Breckenridge whiskey like we have, I don't know if they'll.
I give Scott a pass. This is his first time. Also, he's awesome, so he gets a pass. No matter what.
Awesome.
Kevin, you never get a pass. First of all, and what the hell, man.
Let's just start with who was the owner that sold it to Pat Bowlen there. Nope. Tracy, it wasn't 𝗕𝗿𝗲𝗵𝘁. Nope.
How was your birthday, Kevin?
I mean, it's crazy to think. Hey, wait. Just speaking of ownership, everybody see what the Denver Broncos ownership is doing?
Let's talk about
That's
that.
cool.
Spotty.
Go for
It's
it.
so cool.
If anybody didn't see, the Denver Broncos ownership is the best way to say donating helmets to high school football. I think 15,000 helmets.
15,000.
Yeah, it's like 277 teams across Colorado.
Which is awesome. That's super cool. It's like a new top of the line helmet that 270 teams are getting. So that's super dope. So they don't just replace the fields mid-season. They're also out to support the local market, which I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, that's huge. And it's over like the course of a couple of years because those are like 8-year helmets. So it's like they're just giving away helmets. So by the end of it, like most high schools in Colorado will have helmets paid for by the Denver Broncos. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
It's really cool to have owners that are doing that kind of thing. You're talking about going above and beyond. It's not like they're just doing, something for the Denver area or something like that. I mean, it's for all Colorado high schools. So
yeah,
you're talking about devotion there. Well, we're
getting guesses by people who have already won. So
and I don't want to say what's right or wrong in case somebody who hasn't won yet wants to chime in.
It's past people.
But we might need to open this one up to everybody. In which case,
I mean, at this point, yeah,
I'm so glad I went first.
Next year, I'm going first. You're going last. How's that sound? Just because of that.
That's fine. I will keep it like, okay. Do you like Von Miller? Yep. All right. You win.
All right. Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and do this. We're not getting any other guesses. We already have one correct answer. So,
Gary
Miss
says
Tracy,
Tracy won it.
you're going to win a second prize here. That is the correct answer. We're going to stick with that. 𝗕𝗿𝗲𝗵𝘁 was the owner that sold it to Pat Bowlen for pretty cheap, actually, compared to what the Bowlen family sold it for just a couple of years ago. Talk about a return on investment there for sure. So, Tracy, congratulations. You're going to get a set of 6 coasters here with our logo on it and a world champions flag as well. Congratulations. That's awesome stuff, guys.
Who was the coach?
Man.
who was the coach?
Yeah. Who was the coach?
Yeah. God damn.
He says it like, yeah.
Dan Reeves.
Obviously,
Okay,
everyone knows this. I'm
Reed,
Kevin
I'm like-
Dandino. I'm the biggest Bronco fan that has ever existed.
No. Not going that far. It's just my memory is not as good as somebody's like David's who can remember stats from like I don't know how you remember those things, David.
It's a very useless gift.
That's got height and weight on every single player ever that's been in the NFL.
Well, let's pivot to a useful gift. What do you think, guys? Do you think it's time to talk about a grand prize, or do we?
I think it's time for a grand prize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
David's getting old and needs to go to bed.
We're all getting old. Maybe not as old as Adam, but he looks so good. Go on.
So,
Oh,
guys,
weird.
once again, we are entering our 10th season here. And as what that means for you guys is we're going to be doing a ton of giveaways and
Wait, 10
special
years?
events. This is going to be our 10th season.
Not days? This isn't
No,
10
not days.
Oh.
No, John.
10 days
John,
or 10 years?
John. Drink some whiskey, John.
John,
Drink
you've
some
been
more
with us for at least 4 of them.
Yay!
Why is that poor?
So the point there is, first off, thank you to Breckenridge Distillery for sponsoring us and taking us on. This is going to be a great adventure as we go into our 10th season. And then also just remember, guys, keep tuning in through the whole off season because we're going to be doing a ton of videos. We're still going to be doing some Tuesday short shows, breaking down different aspects of the team and free agency and the draft. So we're not going anywhere during this off season, but we're going to be doing some special things with jersey giveaways and other prize giveaways throughout our whole 10th season to celebrate. So this is not going to be once a year thing, at least for this next year. So you guys are going to want to keep tuning in. Andrew asks, how does one apply? Are you asking for the jersey giveaway that we're about to do, which is what it is right here?
Wow.
Whoa, geez.
Quick transition.
We are looking, I know, big transition. Grand prize is a Bo Nix jersey of your choice in terms of the orange, blue, or white. I'll let you pick which color you want. But
them orange ones look good, though.
In honor of our 10th year. Yeah, I love the orange ones. They're sick.
Alternative.
Andrew, we'll talk later, man. I don't know if we have any openings right now, but we might look at something like that. So, but yeah, guys. So let's go for the question on how we're going to give this away. What you guys got? I thought we decided. Did we decide in the chat?
I
I
mean,
should we
we
say who's
gave
the
recommendations.
Who's the youngest member of
Orange
Yeah.
Weekly.
We also mentioned, I don't remember who it was, but mentioned the actual height of Kevdan.
Yeah, let's go with that. What is my
I like
actual height?
that.
Yeah.
I like that.
There it
Let's
is.
go with that. How tall
is.
am I, guys? Because
Yes.
they all say that I'm super short.
I love
So I
this.
want to hear what you guys think. Let's have fun with it. What?
It
What
could be a
height
true
am I?
Napoleon. It's a true Napoleon question, guys, because the joke, of course, is
is.
that Napoleon was really, really small.
Oh man.
But if
I'm
you know your
somewhere
history,
between. I'm somewhere between 4'10".
Also, Kev's not
and
allowed to give the
6'5".
right answer. We get to decide what the right answer is.
that's right.
Right?
I'm also sending a picture to the group.
We got a winner.
No.
Already?
I'm 5'8", guys. Come on.
No way.
Extra inch.
Yeah.
Feels like you're getting that extra inch there.
Yeah,
No, not just.
Oh,
don't even
Kevin
wear
gets
shoes.
the extra inch all the time.
These feel like combine numbers to me. I don't feel like these are official measurements.
Look, if we're going to ask
His
what my
hand size
height
is
is,
also
I'm going to decide the
enlarged.
winner. Okay.
Fair enough.
We're
All
good.
right.
I
You
love,
literally just picked
Jacob.
the first answer. Did you pick the first answer?
No, it's the right answer.
It's the first answer also. That's weird.
You want it to
If I
be
was going to
Jacob's
go with
answer.
the
don't you?
best, if I was going to go with the best answer, I would have just waited and for Jacob to say 5'10" or something, But that's
Well,
unfortunately
nobody's
Clayton here
guessed
has a
over
lot of
6
faith.
feet yet, and I love that.
Clayton has.
Clayton, did you win something? I'm
please.
taking it away. I'm taking your prize away.
No, Clayton gets his prize. Yes,
tonight.
Sean. I have documentation to prove it if you guys freaking need. Okay, 5'8" over
Birth
here.
certificate.
You with the handwritten sign that says 5'8" on it does not count as documentary evidence,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
IR 5'8" written in crayon does not count.
I got measured twice a year, every year for 9 years. Okay,
580
So, I think-
centimeters, guys.
You also got our special friend for 5 years in a row too, in the same award ceremony.
Oh God,
What?
you guys are ridiculous.
Friend?
Well,
I
guys,
just think it's Kev's special. How about that?
Yeah,
we're gonna
that's
give
right.
that away to Sean, who is getting a Bo Nix jersey, blue, orange, or white of his choice.
Our
And,
alternative.
No, we're not going to go alternative. We're going to maybe save that for some of the giveaways later on in the year.
Yeah. So let's transition that. Like as we go into next year, stick around. Gonna have a lot of probably Bo Nix jerseys to give a couple Bo Nix jerseys to give away next year as we roll into our 10th year. Lots of fun things coming up for Orange Weekly. Super excited. Obviously, thank you so much to Breckenridge Distillery for coming on to be our sponsor. Super excited about it. Thank you so much to the fans, obviously, for sticking around with us for this long and keeping us relevant. As again, David mentioned it, we could be talking into the ether, and we probably would regardless, but it's the fans that make us want to do what we do. And we really appreciate what you guys do. And thank you so much. So stick around as next year as we go into it, because it's going to be a lot of fun. We're giving away a lot of stuff. And with being the 10 year and we finally have our quarterback after the quarterback carousel of Denver Broncos history post Peyton Manning is over. And we have our guy going into the future to build around. It's going to be a fun year for everybody next year, and I'm super excited for it.
Yep. It's going to be great, guys. So I want to say really quickly thank you to Jared, David, John, Spotty, Scott, Adam. You guys are great co-hosts. I couldn't do this without you. I mean, I could, but it would be really terrible and boring and repetitive. Not many people probably keep watching. But look, guys, we hit some pretty major milestones this year, to include hitting 23,000 followers on Facebook. We went from 22,000 to 23,000 in like 5 weeks. So there's just been a lot of really awesome things. I think we went up from like 400 some on YouTube to like 730 plus this season. And it's just going to be even better next year. So just keep tuning in, keep hanging out. Keep coming back and listening to what we got going on, because one of these years, guys, we keep doing this long enough. One of these years, we're going to be talking and doing Broncos Super Bowl shows. And It's going to be, we're not going to be talking about just getting into the playoffs. It's going to be how far into the playoffs are we going to get? And this show right here is going to have to wait until February, because we're still going to be doing all of our other content throughout the playoffs. So guys, it's going to be a much more fun and exciting 10 years as we look ahead. So let's look forward to that. All the people here, Paula, thank you so much for being a longtime fan. Clayton as well, you're a longtime fan. Sean, thank you for everything. We're going to try and get Mitch Fabroni on one of these shows one time. So keep coming back for that. See if we can get an interview there. Jerry's been a longtime fan. Cindy, you guys are all fantastic. You know, I could call you guys all out by name, but thank you just so much for everything. But let's do some closing thoughts really quickly. Go around the room. Just any last things you guys have to say as we close out this year and start moving on into our 10th season. Jared, you look like you're super engaged right now. Let's start with you, bud.
Yeah, that tracks. Yeah. I was checking. I saw Sean's post, and I was gonna say this. I was gonna say, find Sean, pick a player that responds to his DMs next year, and maybe we'll get him on. Mitch did not respond to me, which is fine for Brony.
You would think a long snapper would be.
That's what we thought too.
He's
I
still
thought
a
so too.
dude messaging a dude. Like, come on.
Right. On Instagram.
All right, that's fair.
How else am I supposed? I don't have his cell phone number, David. Like, how am I supposed to?
All right. Okay. I mean, it's not about what
you
know, Darren. Right? It's about
do
who you
better.
know.
I guess do better is
just know him. Just know him.
He's gonna message me back like 3 weeks down the road. Like, I don't check my Instagram, but like, I'd love to be on your show. And then we're gonna like do a random show with Mitch. Yeah. No. Okay. All you guys are negative, and I hate you. So
I'm saying
thank you guys so much.
I think he's gonna.
Thank you guys so much for joining us this year. It's been fun. I think, and to all of you guys, Spotty, David, Kev, Dan, and sometimes John, I really do appreciate you guys being around. No, I appreciate we built something. Kev and I started this 10 years ago, and it's been just an amazing ride. Just continuing to do things, having great people around us, talk Broncos football, especially when some of us are always never in Denver or the Colorado area. So, David, can you just
always never in
high.
Denver? Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
I guarantee he's high.
You're not in a position to guarantee anything with this podcast. But sorry.
Anyways, I appreciate.
Never mind.
the years that we've put into this and the time that you guys put into this, really appreciate you guys. And obviously all the fans, thank you so much. And for those of you guys that won stuff, enjoy your prizes. And let's cross our fingers for that defensive player of the year. That'd be huge.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Let's all cross our fingers for John's account at DraftKings.com. I like the way you ended that, Jared.
Oh boy.
Minus 550. I feel pretty good.
We'll see. We'll see. David, man, closing thoughts over to you, buddy.
All right. Well, you guys know I've been positive all season. So now this is the time to get belligerently drunk and talk about how terrible visors are. Visors are a scourge of the year. No, not really. Not really.
What about
Not
referees?
Really. No, I can't. Guys, I can't with the referee thing. I've got actual problems to worry about. I get it. I understand why you're upset. But seriously, it's so exciting to talk about the future of this Broncos team. I don't care. I can't even with Kevin right now. I never could. All right, good for you too, Jared.
You are the problem.
Anyway, it's so exciting to talk about the future of this Broncos franchise in a way that it hasn't been for so many years, right? Like, and we're so excited that you guys have stayed with us through the bad times because it's really about to get good. And we're going to have a lot more interesting stuff to talk about over the next few years than in some previous seasons combined. And I am just really, really pumped to get into it and to see what's next.
Yep. I love it. John, over to you, man. And are you going to get Andrew some tickets for a game?
No, absolutely. I tried to make it clear. You got a hat. I'm sorry for the hat you got. Like,
whoa.
I'm still not clear on what the plan was as far as John needing money. Are you going to rob these people? I'm really concerned with what the end game there was.
I will not rob you.
Okay.
I'll make that clear. I will not rob you. But, okay, if you show up to the tailgate without a beer, that's kind of screwed up. But if not, like, I respect, like, you want a prize, that's fine. I guess you get to come to the tailgate unsuspecting.
And over to you, Spotty.
Thank you.
Yeah, geez. Okay.
Thank you.
Final thoughts to end the final thoughts here. Super excited for first off to go into next year with not only a starting quarterback, but the same coaching staff. Like almost the exact same coaching staff, which is something that we can't even talk about that much. I mean, how much turnover has this team had over a long time? So consistent.
We lost our tight end coach. Our tight end coach was key. How did we have success without that guy?
Yep. I think we'll find success without the worst position coach of the on the team. So excited, hey guys, like this has been the second full year with everybody, and I've been having a lot of fun. And I think my wife appreciates the fact that I don't talk to her about football all the time because of you guys. So I definitely appreciate everybody helping me to keep a healthy relationship.
There you go.
Beautiful.
We are marriage counseling. Yes.
All right, John, what do you got to say?
Do I have to go again? David fucked me up. I blame David.
Yes.
I did tell you to keep drinking.
I think a neutral observer will go back and look at what happened on tape and say, yeah, that's David's fault. Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
I don't know if you're fucking with me.
Well, guys, this has been a very successful fan appreciation night, and we call it that for a reason.
This is why we do the back show, Kev. This is why we do the back show. Bring back the back show.
I don't think we did a single backstage this year.
Because we had so much fun. We had fun during the show, so there was no need to have extra fun afterwards. It wasn't like previous years.
Yeah, ask John about that bottle that he bought yesterday.
It's gone.
The one that he's been showing us that's almost empty?
What bottle?
Yes, exactly.
John, it's on video. We all saw it.
You held the whole thing.
You held it up several times.
John, do you have anything else to say, man?
Love you.
Love
you too, buddy. Seriously, and I love all you guys, all the fans. We're gonna keep doing this for as long as you keep coming back and just hanging out with you guys, talking Broncos football. So thank you so much. Thank you to all of our hosts, all the special guests tonight. We're going to keep expanding that. We're going to have some more special guests during the off season as well. Already got one in the works, so get ready for it, guys. It's going to be a fun ride looking forward. But wow, what a fun night. And I don't know. I got nothing left to say, guys, other than to end this, as we always do, on a very strong Go Broncos!
Go Broncos!
We will see you guys soon. Take care, everyone.
Do what I like, yeah, I do what I like, yeah, I do what I like. Sip and go, sip is right, and I go with the flow, yeah, I go with the flow, yeah, I go with the flow, cause I know I'm the show. In the zone, here I go, in the zone, here I go, in the zone, here I go, yeah, they know I'm a pro.